I just wanted to let you know who the next speaker is, and you'll be very happy to hear it. Once you know who he is, you would love to hear him. And the topic on which he's speaking as well is so interesting. The next speaker is Dr. Sumit Gulwani, who is your own former student. And it is a great pleasure to introduce him now. It's a moment of immense pride and joy for the entire City Montessori School family to welcome back one of our most distinguished alumni, a brilliant mind, a compassionate innovator, and a global thought leader, Dr. Sumit Gulwani, distinguished scientist at Microsoft. Dr. Gulwani leads groundbreaking work in the field of AI-assisted programming and is best known as the inventor of Flash Fill feature in Microsoft Excel. Raise your hand, teachers, if you have used the Flash Fill functionality of Microsoft. Those of you who work with data, I can see some hands have gone up. Computer teachers' hands have gone up. All the computer teachers, probably their hands are the ones that are up. It's a feature that is so intuitive and powerful that it now appears in the middle school computing textbooks. So that's why I think that the computer teachers all have seen it. His innovations are quietly transforming how people interact with technology across the world. A passionate advocate of storytelling, creativity, and connection, Dr. Gulwani has delivered over 75 keynote addresses and invited talks, using the power of narrative and storytelling to share not only his technological insights, but also his deep belief in curiosity-driven learning. Dr. Gulwani sees both education and innovation as playgrounds, spaces where ideas and people grow best through exploration, collaboration, and freedom. Dr. Sumit Gulwani, after completing his grade 12 at CMS, RDSO campus, and I think Kanpur Road campus, and Sumit will correct me if I'm wrong. RDSO campus, and the RDSO campus principal is here. She's looking with wonderment. Of course, in the days when Sumit was a student here, and I think, Sumit, you left in 1996. Yeah? Grade 12. 1995?
1995.
1995. When he left, Dr. Vinita Kamran was his principal, and at that time, of course, the current principal, Jyotsna Atul ma'am, was not there. She was herself a student of CMS at that time, probably. After doing his grade 12 at CMS, Dr. Sumit Gulwani went to IIT Kanpur, where he was awarded the President's Gold Medal, and a PhD he did thereafter. Thereafter, he did his PhD from University of California at Berkeley, where his doctoral thesis earned the ACM SIG Plan Outstanding Doctoral Dissertation Award. Sumit Gulwani's academic brilliance has been recognized with numerous honors, including 13 Best Paper Awards and the Max Planck Humboldt Medal, and fellowships from the ACM and AAIA. Sumit, you'll have to tell us the full forms of these. We are ignorant enough not to know the full forms of these, but I can tell you, friends, that the Max Planck Humboldt Medal is an international prize given by the government of, or I think it's a German organization, or it could be the government of Germany, for the most outstanding scientific contribution of the year. And this is an international prize of huge repute. And Sumit Gulwani is the proud recipient, your former student, who received this extremely eminent prize. I don't think that you're very excited about the prizes of your students. He has got international level award. Despite his global achievements, Sumit Gulwani remains deeply grounded in the values of inquiry, humility, and service, values that were first nurtured right here at CMS. His remarkable journey is a powerful reminder to every student and teacher that greatness begins with inspiration and is sustained by learning and by heart. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a warm and heartfelt welcome to our illustrious alumnus and guest of honor, Dr. Sumit Gulwani. And his talk is going to be about why teachers and not tools will shape AI in education. A call to play, experiment, and lead together. In other words, he wants teachers to play, to experiment, and to lead together. And so again, why teachers and not tools will shape AI in education. I could read the abstract of his paper, but I think it's better to speak from him, to hear him speak for himself. Thank you so much, Sumit, for sparing your valuable time. We know that it's some ungodly hour in the morning, in the middle of the night for you, but thank you so much for joining us still from there. Thanks, Sumit. We're all eager to hear you now. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Geeta ji. Hello, everyone. I graduated from CMS in 1995, but no matter how many years go by, this place still feels like home. It's an absolute honor to be back and speaking to 4,000 teachers who shape 65,000 students. One of my favorite teachers, Miss Leena Chatterjee, told us that the word education comes from the Latin educare, which means to bring out the potential, but can also be interpreted as to teach care. And that's what you do every single day. You shape minds by nurturing creativity and critical thinking. You also shape hearts by fostering care and ethics. And with deepest gratitude for all that you do, I want to offer you a gift today. A magic wand to supercharge your superpowers. And that's AI, or rather the permission to play with AI. Now, before we dive in, can I have a show of hands, please? How many of you have used ChatGPT? Most of you, as I can imagine. Now, please keep your hands up if you think it's magical. Super. Thank you. In education, AI is not a product to adopt, not a policy to await, not a perfection to pursue. It's a playful process led by empowered teachers like you. In fact, AI has transformed how I work, learn, and parent. A couple of years ago, my son Sumay, who was in the 4th grade then, was preparing for a reading competition. One evening he says, "Papa, all the parents are helping their kids prepare. Can you please ask me some questions from this book?" Now he hands me a 300-page novel, which I have never seen before. I quietly asked ChatGPT if it knew the book. It did. 5 minutes later, I called Sumit to my room and started quizzing him like I was an expert. He was surprised. Then he noticed I was typing and reading things off the screen. And he says, "Aha, looks like you are chatting with your friend who has read the book." Eventually, he gave an answer that didn't agree with ChatGPT. I told him he was wrong. He insisted he was right. And guess what? He was. He opened the book, pointed to the passage, and proved it. And in that moment, I realized something profound. AI makes mistakes. We call them hallucinations, just like people. But even with its imperfections, it's already incredibly useful. The value of AI isn't just about getting answers. It's about unlocking new ways of connecting, questioning, learning. This wave of AI is different from anything before it. Earlier generations of AI were locked away in labs, like chess playing machines, or buried in niche features like spam filters, autocorrect, or flashfill in Excel, which I happen to work on. Today's AI is much more powerful, even in its raw form, and there is no barrier to keep you from using it. You and your students can start experimenting and creating with it right now. The future of education with AI will not be decided by policymakers or product makers. It will be built by students and teachers like you who are willing to play and share. AI is rapidly transforming the future of work. In this future, higher order skills like creativity, critical thinking, communication will be more important than ever. And as you know, those are the hardest things to teach. They don't come from textbooks, they come from experience, from making mistakes and learning from them. And this is how AI can be a powerful partner in this journey. For my wife's last birthday, I decided to do something special. I wrote her a beautiful poem. It rhymed, it had emotion. She responded with a love reaction on WhatsApp, which never happens. But a few minutes later, she became suspicious and she asked me, "Did you use ChatGPT?" I said, "ChatGPT was my assistant. It helped me with rhymes, but all the ideas were mine. What would have taken me days took minutes because AI helped me express, refine, remix. That's not cheating, it's co-creating." Now imagine what our students can build when they have such a creative partner by their side. For example, a fifth grader may co-write a story with ChatGPT about a dragon who becomes a vegan. The student chooses the plot and AI helps with the structure. And suddenly, writing becomes play, not pressure. ChatGPT can role play as a historical figure. Pretend you are Mahatma Gandhi. I'm a reporter in 1930. Let's talk. Now, history isn't a textbook, it's a conversation. And that's not just teaching history, that's building empathy. A team of students can use AI to brainstorm startup ideas for a Shark Tank style classroom competition. They can enter sports and eco-friendly materials as input. And AI will suggest a line of sustainable sports gear. The students build on that, debate, refine. So AI doesn't give the idea. It sparks new ways to build on it. If used properly, AI will not replace student creativity. It will amplify it through experimentation. And what I have seen again and again as a research manager is this. It's often not the smartest person who wins, but one who is hands-on and able to quickly try a large number of ideas. And now AI can allow students to just do that. Students can use AI to explore faster, fail safer, and learn playfully. Now let's talk about critical thinking. Let me take you back to my CMS days, to my English literature class with Miss Leena Chatterjee. Her classes were phenomenal. She had a way of bringing stories alive with her commentary, weaving in interpretations and adding emotional depth. But as students, we were scribbling furiously, trying to capture every word that she said. And often, the joy of the moment got lost in the rush to keep up. Now imagine that same class today. AI could transcribe her lectures, and then students can ask questions like, what were the main points of Ms. Chatterjee's lecture today? Or summarize what she said about Macbeth's guilt. I didn't understand her metaphor. Can you explain what it means? This is not an invitation to skip classes. At Microsoft, we use Teams to transcribe and summarize meetings. But it never replaces the value of attending the meeting itself. In education, AI can shift note-taking from exhaustive transcription to capturing what's most important or challenging. This will allow students to focus on what truly matters in real time. Listening, asking questions, challenging ideas. And in this flipped classroom model, teaching becomes less about transmission and more about transformation. As another example, students can have conversations with ChatGPT as a devil's advocate. They can say, take the opposite side of my opinion on using AI for note-taking in classrooms and challenge me. And from there, engage in a spirited debate. And this turns AI into a critical thinking coach. Back when I was in grad school at UC Berkeley, I spent months trying to extend a published mathematical theorem, but kept running into dead ends. Slowly, a seed of doubt began to grow. Still, it took me some mental activation energy to finally write a computer program to test the theorem systematically on input expressions of increasing size. And overnight, the program found a counterexample. The theorem, which was published in a top journal, was false. If I had today's AI tools, that activation energy would have been lower, and I might have written the program to uncover the flaw much sooner. AI won't do the thinking for you, but it can help you think better and faster. And the proper use of AI isn't about taking shortcuts. It's about developing a critical lens, a spirit of questioning and verification. Now let's see how AI can empower teachers. When I was a student at CMS, I was top of the class in most subjects, except one, English language. I struggled. My principal, Dr. Vinita Kamran, went out of her way to hire a guest teacher, Mr. Baptist, to give me personalized feedback on my writings. He would come on his blue scooter and charge 300 rupees an hour, which is around 3,000 rupees in today's currency. Today, every student can get such excellent feedback. Not once a week, but every hour, without fear of being judged. Personalized education isn't just for students who struggle. It's also for those who are ready to soar. I remember my math teacher, Mr. Siddiqui. He would take a few of us out of the class under the large banyan tree in the courtyard to prepare us for math Olympiads. Each of us got different problems based on our level. He would guide us, hint us, show us where we had gone wrong. Now imagine this, Mr. Siddiqui but with AI, able to generate custom problem sets, offer instant hints, provide feedback on errors. And that's not science fiction. That's happening right now. AI can also be a powerful tool for lesson planning. For example, if you want to encourage open-ended exploration, you can prompt ChatGPT, give me some what-if questions related to space science for grade 6 students. And you may get back questions like, what if the moon had its own atmosphere? How would that change our night sky? Or what if plants could grow on Mars? Or you can ask, give me 6 Bloom's taxonomy style questions for Newton's first law. And you will get a question for each level. Recall, understanding, application, analysis, evaluation, creation. For decades, we have tried to lift students up this ladder. AI now becomes a jetpack for them. It doesn't climb the ladder for them, but it gives them lift. AI can also help personalize explanations in teaching. I'll share another story from my experience as a father. When Sumit was a preschooler, I wanted to teach him a math theorem. When you add 2 odd numbers, you get an even number. Initially, I showed him lots of examples. It didn't work. Then I tried making it fun with toys, but we both struggled. I almost gave up, thinking he was too young. But then I decided to make one last attempt, this time with a story. I told him that an even number is made of kids who are all paired up, and an odd number is made of kids who are all paired up except one lonely kid. When you put 2 odd numbers together, the lonely kids get to pair up and it becomes an even number. I saw a spark in his eyes as if he understood. I asked him, what is odd plus even? And he replies in a sad voice, odd, because there is no one to pair the lonely kid with. And then I asked him, what is even plus even? He said in a very excited voice, even, because there is no lonely kid to begin with. Later, an expert told me that this worked because kids are naturally scared of being lonely. And that's when I realized an important principle of communication and storytelling. Know your audience. When the story fits the student, the concept lands. No author or no board curriculum can craft the multitude of those stories because every child learns differently. But you can, since you know your students. And now you don't have to wait for the perfect story to pop in your head. You can ask AI, explain fractions to a cricket fan. Teach photosynthesis using a cooking metaphor. Or rewrite this text for English learners at a VIDA level 3. AI won't always get it right on the first try, but it will give you a start. It becomes your storytelling sketchpad, helping you teach not just with correctness, but with creativity and empathy. The classroom is not just a learning space, but also an emotional ecosystem. AI can help you reach your students, not just teach them. You can ask it to do things like write a short motivational message for students who are stressed before exams, or create 5 reflection questions for a student who just had a fight with a friend, or suggest a team building game for low trust groups. AI can also help you with grading and providing feedback to students. How many of you have lost a Sunday evening to grading? Believe me, I understand that frustration. In fact, this is what motivated my own research work in developing auto graders over the past decade. And I've had professors tell me, I cannot imagine back to manual grading. This system saves me so much time, and it is fairer and more accurate. Now, these auto graders were 100% accurate, but they were limited to very niche subject areas. I won't ask you to wait for me to provide specialized, perfect graders for your subjects. But here's the exciting part. AI is now so powerful that it can be applied across virtually any subject domain. All it takes is some experimentation on your part to see how well it works for you. I was especially inspired by Geeta ji's story. She worked interactively with ChatGPT, evolving the grading rubric for specific subjects. And when she said, score this, keeping in mind that it is not from a student, but from a teacher applying for the job, she was able to fine-tune ChatGPT to give the perfect assessment that she had in mind. Now, with great power comes great responsibility. I checked with ChatGPT to see if Spider-Man said that first. Turns out that the idea has actually been around for centuries, echoed in many cultures and philosophies. In any case, it brings us to the final theme of responsible use of AI. So one day, Sumit had a school project to create a cereal box themed after a famous personality. He picked Einstein. He asked ChatGPT, give me a good name for my cereal. It said, relativity cereal. He asked, give me a tagline. And it said, breakfast for the creative genius in you. Pretty good, right? Then he asked for a picture of Einstein. But he didn't like any of them. I asked why. He says, they all look too serious. So I smiled and said, try refining your prompt. So he did. Picture of Einstein is smiling. And just like that, he got the image he wanted. And then, on his own, he said, I will design the rest of the box myself. No ChatGPT. Wow. That coming from a 9-year-old made me a proud dad. That's what we want our students to learn. Use AI, but don't lose yourself. Know what to ask and when to stop. You can design activities to help students become thoughtful users of AI. Those who play by asking good questions or crafting good prompts. Those who probe its responses with a critical eye. Those who protect themselves from over-reliance so they don't lose opportunities to struggle, reflect, grow. Those who partner by sharing their learnings with peers, bringing back the social dimension of learning in this AI-mediated world. After graduating from CMS, when I was picking colleges, I had two choices. Electrical engineering at IIT Kanpur or computer science at IIT Kharagpur. I really wanted to study computer science. But more than that, I wanted to be closer to my parents in Lucknow. So the choice was clear. In our first year introductory computing course, our instructor told us, you can multiply two by two matrices using 7 multiplications instead of 8. Now, at that time, Google didn't exist, much less ChatGPT. So I went back to the instructor and asked him how I could do that. And his response was that this premium material was meant only for CS students. And I was enrolled in the electrical engineering program. I got so upset by that. I rewrote the IIT JEE exam, got a better rank, and transferred to the CS program at IIT Kanpur. Now today, ChatGPT can provide that kind of knowledge without having to rely on gatekeepers. However, if you ask it, how can I multiply 2 matrices using 6 multiplications instead of 8? It will still give you some algorithm, but one that is incorrect, since this is not possible mathematically. And that's where the students must remain skeptical and learn to verify AI outputs. While it is my day job as an AI scientist to reduce such hallucinations, we are also grounded in reality. And we use a disclaimer inside our Microsoft Copilots that AI-generated content may be incorrect. Treat this not just as legal language, but as an invitation for critical thinking. Besides being incorrect, AI can sometimes be biased too. We must teach our students to spot biases, challenge stereotypes, and verify AI outputs. And one of the best ways to do this is to bring it into your classroom. Have a dialogue. Ask your students, when is using ChatGPT helpful? When is it cheating? What do you trust? Why? And that dialogue itself becomes a lesson in ethics, media literacy, and character. Most students today are probably using AI, but we don't know whether they are using AI in ways that are good for their learning. You need to shape their interactions with AI. And for this, you need to play with AI yourself to deeply understand its capabilities and limitations. Because often, magic lies not just in the answer, but in the question. For example, when someone tried the prompt, think step by step, the entire world discovered that AI models can reason too. And that simple prompt sparked one of the biggest recent breakthroughs in AI, that of powerful reasoning models. In another case, we prompted, answer only if you are confident. Otherwise, gather some more information using tools or the user. And that prompt became the backbone of our debugging agent for coding in Visual Studio. What surprised us most was when a user said, now I feel better equipped. I know what to do next time when I see a similar bug. And now the AI was not just providing an answer, it was guiding the user through a shared learning journey. This work was actually led by my colleague Yasharth Bajpai, who is also a CMS alum. The future isn't about machines that provide faster answers. It's about curious minds that ask deeper questions and caring hearts with deeper empathy. And you will shape that future not by handing students a map that shows a perfect path, but by giving them a compass that allows them to discover their own path. By showing them how to imagine, ask, explore, using AI, not as the answer to everything, but as a tool for thought, as a creative co-pilot. Look, AI will not replace teachers, but teachers who use AI will redefine teaching. Because AI doesn't strip humanity from teaching. It frees us to focus on it. The spark of imagination, the joy of discovery, the magic of connection. You are no longer just a provider of knowledge. You are a designer of experiences. You are a coach of thinkers. You are a champion of creativity. शिक्षक वही जो नए युग के लिए नए तरीके लाए. At Microsoft, I lead research for Microsoft Excel, the most used software product on the planet. One of my favorite recent projects has been about bringing creative prompt suggestions inside Excel, suggesting ideas, helping users discover features they didn't know existed, and lowering the barrier to try something new. And you know where we got the inspiration for those prompts? From early AI experimenters like you, from curious minds who asked questions in unexpected ways. Every time someone tried something playful or thoughtful, we learned. So here's your key takeaway. Don't wait for products, policies, or perfection. Just start experimenting and sharing. AI will not reveal its potential through control, but through play and trial. Now, can I have a show of hands? How many of you feel inspired to now go home and try ChatGPT for education? Wonderful. So today when you go back, ask ChatGPT any question related to your classroom and then try it out in your classroom next week. And then share your story over chai with a fellow teacher or in your staff meeting, or send a quick note to Geeta ji saying, you have got to hear this. Make this a habit. Start a prompt of the month wall. Build a growing library of prompts and rubrics. You are 4,000 teachers in one school. No other school in the world has this kind of creative power. You are the world's largest learning lab. And when 4,000 educators start experimenting together, sharing what worked, what failed, what surprised, you don't just adopt AI, you shape its future. These days, whenever I meet someone, I often ask them, what is your favorite prompt? Because that one question opens a whole world of imagination. I look forward to seeing yours. And let me share my recent favorite. I asked ChatGPT what Dr. Jagdish Gandhi might have said of this speech. And it offered this beautiful reflection. Just as we at CMS believe that every child is the light of the world, you are telling our teachers that every small experiment can light the way for the world in the age of AI. The spirit of responsibility, creativity, and global leadership that we nurture in CMS students is now being called in for teachers as well. This is the right message at the right time. That education must not be passive in the face of change, but active and playful. Jai Jagat.
Thank you, Dr. Gulwani, for such an impressive talk on why teachers, not tools, will shape the use of AI in education. And you also talked about and spoke about how we can bring AI into our classrooms, how as teachers we should initiate a dialogue on the ethical use of AI, its abilities, and how it can be used best in best possible ways. And thank you for encouraging us to create a prompt library, AI prompt library in our school. I think Leena Chatterjee ma'am is here. Leena ma'am is here with us, sir. And we call respected Leena ma'am on stage, please.
I know that Sumit holds Miss Leena Chatterjee in extremely high esteem because he said that her English lessons were amazing. So here's Leena Chatterjee ma'am, she taught him. So here's an opportunity for her to have very quick 1 minute interaction.
Hello, Dr. Gulwani. I won't say you're the best like the others do. I'll simply say you're beyond compare. Sumit, you will always be my joy and pride. Need I say more? Thank you for that wonderful, engaging lecture. You made my day. I'm absolutely tongue-tied. I don't think I have any more words to say. All the very best, and how's honey?
Such a wonderful surprise, for bringing you on stage here.
What an emotional moment for both the teacher and the student.
I'm so touched and moved to see you today after so many years, Sumit. And I'm so happy that you're doing so well.
Whatever I'm today is because of you, ma'am.
I think that deserves a standing ovation, teachers, because we all wait for that moment when our students come and tell us that. A proud moment for a teacher.
Thank you.
I'm also so impressed that how thoughtfully I've been, and you still remember my sister's name, who was also in CMS, 1 year younger to me.
Honey is a doctor, right? Where is Honey?
Yes. So she's practicing in Bhopal.
In Bhopal. Where are your parents? Are they still in Lucknow?
So my father sadly passed away a couple of years ago, and my mom is now living with my sister.
Okay. Your next visit to Lucknow would be, tentatively?
I'll try to visit later this year. My 20th reunion at IT Kanpur is also coming up, so that would be the opportunity.
And I had the privilege of holding that gold medal. After your convocation, remember, you came and showed it to me. Dr. Kalam, who was still a senior scientist in DRDO, right? During the convocation, had given that medal. And I had the privilege of holding it in my hand. Because he came all the way when it was pouring cats and dogs just to let me hold that medal. Sumit, I'll never forget that. All right, thank you so much, dear. All the best, God bless. May heaven send you one blue sky after another and a rainbow of good luck surround you all. God bless.
Thank you, ma'am.
You made it magical, ma'am. And Sumit, just to say that Dr. Kamran, unfortunately, while all the principals are here, Dr. Kamran unfortunately could not be today because she's had a tragedy in her family for which she's had to fly to, I think, someplace in Madhya Pradesh. So otherwise, she would have loved to witness this, but I'm sure that she will watch the video of this whole, your talk and this interaction. Thank you again, Sumit. Goodbye, and thank you for staying up all night for us. Thanks a lot. And for your inspiring message, which will definitely, all the educators will have learned so much from the stories, how you used stories to teach, concepts to children, your own child. Those illustrations were priceless of how we can, as educators, like you said, that, those things that we can, it can give us like a jet pack, and it will allow us to go up that Bloom's taxonomy at a faster pace, which we are trying to do otherwise without the help of AI. So this is Sumit Gulwani for you teachers. Thank you so much.
You saw the living example of Dr. Sumit and Leena ma'am. When the heart is full, words are few. There cannot be a better epitome of the innocence of the tears and the misty eyes of Dr. Leena ma'am and Dr. Sumit. That goes to show that the bond between the teacher and the taught is everlasting. They say this is Thanksgiving.